And y'all, it's Amy Nicholas, and we are back. And I've officially titled these videos, these live streams, "Get the Dream in 2023." So if you have a big goal, you have a desire, you have a dream, you're like, "Dang it, 2023, that's it, game on," right? You're in the right place. So stay tuned for these live streams. Also, I'm going to put a link in the comments for you to get notified via email when I go live. So a lot of times these notifications don't reach you. If you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube or something, they're not going to come through. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a link here where you can sign up via email, and I'll just send you, hey, I'm live, here's the link, so you can come join me from that. So that's pinned to the comments there. So talking today, 2023 goals, how to not scare them away. And what I mean by that is sometimes, and I feel like this is not talked about very often, sometimes you are just on the cusp of actually making your goal happen. Like you are so right there. It's almost come into your life, okay? And there's certain techniques, there's certain things we will do without realizing we're pushing that goal further away. Okay, so you're almost there, you've almost got it, and then you do something or you say something or you think something that actually pushes the goal away from you. So what are these things to not do to keep from scaring it away, right? Number one, you have to be very cautious about what you speak. So if you are talking with your good friend and you're like, man, I've had this goal. Maybe you want to make, like 5K a month in your online business, and it hasn't happened yet. Like, let's say you're making 3,000, 3,500 a month, and you talk to your friend, and you're just sort of like, looking for some sympathy, some empathy, just sort of like speaking a little bit of like, dang, I wish I was already at $5,000 a month. I really wish that I, had this money because I could do this, this, and this. And you think you're just sort of talking out your challenge, right? And it's all fine, it's all good. But the problem here is that not only are you focused on the lack of your goal actually being there, you're focused on you don't have 5K a month, right? Secondly, you're focusing on what you don't want, which is I'm only making X dollars per month. I'm only making $3,000, 3,500, whatever it is. I'm only making this amount of money per month. I'm not making my $5,000 a month. So you're focusing on what you don't want, and you're adding fuel to the fire by actually like speaking it to somebody else. So our words are very, very powerful, and you may or may not realize this. I know that I am continuously correcting myself, noticing myself. Maybe I go a whole couple of days or a couple of weeks sometimes, and I'm just not even noticing that I've been complaining a lot or like just not focusing on what I want. And again, you put voice behind this, it makes it all that more powerful. So do not speak what you don't want, all right? It's easier said than done because most people, especially those around you, in your life, probably focus on, and you can tell by the conversations that are going on, right? They're probably focusing on what they don't want. Oh, I hate my boss. Oh, I, really wish that I could take a vacation, but I can't because my job sucks and, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? They're always focused. I go to the gym and I hear these conversations, I just kind of do my own thing. I'm just there getting my workout, not really chit chatty too much. But I hear these conversations all the time, and everybody's focused on what they don't want. And unfortunately, it's very detrimental. It's going to hold you back. It's going to keep you from getting what you want from your goal. The other thing to not do, to keep your goal near you and not scare it away, is to, sometimes you just have to release it and let it go. By that, I mean, sometimes, I'm going to grab this highlighter over here. Sometimes we are just like clutching on to the goal. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till this goal happens, you know. And it's very forceful. It is very like, I gotta have it. That's it. Like, or else, you know. It creates tension. It creates resistance. It creates a barrier from you being able to get to the goal. For example, you know, you're doing the right thing. Like I said, you're almost there. You almost got the goal. You're going along the straight and narrow path. You know, you're doing your thing, and there's like a wall in the middle of your path. And a lot of people are just like, oh, I gotta get through this wall. You know, like punching it, kicking it, forcing it. But you know, maybe the better path of least resistance here would be to climb over the wall and then keep going on your path. So just to share an example of what I mean by resistance, don't look for like the most forceful way to push your way to the goal. And unfortunately, there's a lot of goal books, success books, high performance, kind of teaching that's like, you gotta, it's gotta be like do or die, like my goal or else. The whole, like the guy is very passionate about what he does, but I'm thinking of like Eric Thomas and the whole like, you gotta want it so bad as you do like air and stuff. And I'm like, when I look back at the goals, the dreams, the desires that have manifested for me with the sweetest satisfaction, the like, yes, it has not come from a place of like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I gotta have this thing. I gotta, you know what I mean? Like, it's always come from a place of peace, of like certainty, of no resistance, of letting go. And in fact, I've noticed in my own life that right before something walks into my life that I've been wanting for a long time, I have consciously or subconsciously, in some way, shape, or form, let it go. By that, I mean, it's not like I stopped thinking about it. It's not like I stopped desiring it. It's not like I chucked it, away and said, forget you. It's more of just like a peace of mind that, number one, I was going to get it no matter what. The time doesn't matter, so I just let it go. Or like I just knew that at some point it was going to show up. I already believed it was there, and at some point it was going to be physically in my life, right? And so I think there's a concept of letting things go. You could come from the Eric Thomas model of, I gotta have it so bad, like I need air. Or you can come from this place of less resistance and more peace. And from that place, I'm telling you that when the goal comes in, physically, happens, done, you see it, not just like see it here, but see it, you are going to just feel so much better. You're not coming from that place of like, I had to work so hard for this, I gave up everything. There's just two schools of thought. And I think for me, it's been 100 times easier, 1,000 times easier to walk with the school of thought that is like, have the desire, be clear about what you want. You don't have to know all the specifics. You certainly don't have to know the how, and in fact, you really won't. But being clear, knowing what you want, saying, thank you in advance, and letting it go. There's a book called Ask, Believe, and Receive by Jerry and Esther Hicks. I kind of like reworded this in my head, the title, and I think it's like desire, expect, and let go. Like that's the 3 steps. I think that the title is perfect for the book, but in my mind, those words meant more to me. That I had a desire, I expected it would come, and by receiving, I mean let it go. You have to let it go. At some point, you just have to say, you know what? It's already done. Because if you think about it this way, if it was already done, if you really truly believed that what you wanted was already yours, like going back to the person wanting $5,000 a month in their online business, if you truly believed that had already happened for you, then you wouldn't be worried, you wouldn't be stressed, you wouldn't be like struggling, you wouldn't be fighting anything. You would just have a sense of peace about the whole situation. And you could think and act at that point like a person who's earning $5,000 a month in their online business without the negative self-talk, without the, oh, this hasn't happened yet, without any of that noise going on in your head, if you really truly believed it. Okay, so I talked over some things here that can make or break that goal that's probably just like literally right around the corner from showing itself physically to you. And maybe you think it's like far off. That's another thing that holds people back, is thinking that, well, I had this big goal and it seems like really far, so I know it's going to take a long time. That's another way to hold yourself from your goal longer, okay? Hey, Abdo says, I have more than 190 steals, tier 10. Oh, okay. Talking goals, are you talking about merch? I'm talking about tier 10. I think you're talking about merch by Amazon. Yeah, I'm just talking about like big goals that we all have, and how to keep these goals coming in and not push them away, basically. So if you had a goal of like, hey, I'm doing a print-on-demand business and I want to make X dollars a month, or I want to make X sales a month, then these techniques, these strategies that I listed, and I'm almost done with the video here, but these will help you to continue on the track, not get off the track. Don't jump the track with your train, but keeping in mind these things that I've gone over. So I mentioned, talking about it negatively to somebody, putting voice behind it, is going to push it away. Also, we talked about basically just, you're right there, but you think it's going to take a long time and it hasn't come yet. You're worried. So for that instance, for that scenario, especially coming with time, because I've seen things happen where it's like, I think at first, yeah, this goal seems like I'd have to step by step it, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And there's been other times where I had a goal that I hadn't done it before, so to me it's kind of like big. And I didn't have to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I would go from like C to like W because I learned like one new thing. I had a limiting belief that I broke down and I got rid of it. Or I just, I met somebody who just opened my awareness to new possibilities. You don't have to follow this like linear pathway to your goal. That is also another thing that holds people back, is thinking that it's got to follow this certain specific trajectory, linear way for each and everybody. And you could look at somebody that you look up to and admire, and you're like, oh, I want to do what they're doing. And you could try to mimic their path, right? Because they're looking back, and they say, oh, well, I did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The thing is, they did all those steps, but they didn't know what those steps were as they were going through the process. They think that by teaching you what they did, it's going to give you the same result. This is completely wrong. Okay, because we're all different in our belief systems, in our like goals that we have. Person A might think, hey, no problem, I can make $5,000 a month. That's easy, like no problem. And person B might think, gosh, that's a lot of money. Like the most I've ever made is like $2,000 a month. I don't know how I can make $5,000 a month. You see what I'm saying here? That the belief systems and what somebody is thinking about and focusing on, it's going to drastically change the result. So just because two people are doing the same thing, same business, the same actions, they're going to have completely different results based on their beliefs and their attitudes of mind, their mindset about what they're doing. Because a lot of times another thing is that keeps your goal back is you have this mindset. And in the beginning, you start out like, yeah, I'm going to do it. This is great. And as time goes on, here's the tricky part. Here's what separates the winners and the losers. As time goes on, the winner sees no results, sees nothing happening yet. But they're like, you know what? I'll try something different. I'm going to do this technique now. I'm going to find a way. That's it, period. Like, it's going to happen. Like, maybe this didn't work out, but this will. Or this next thing will. The loser says, well, this doesn't work. Why doesn't anything work for me? I've tried everything. Which clearly they haven't, right? And they take a completely different road of loser mentality thinking. Whereas the winner, who still didn't see any results, trying something new, they keep doing the process. They keep trying over and over because they have a belief that things always work out for them in the end. However that may be, they don't know. They're not any smarter than the person with the loser mentality, but they know that they know that they know they will figure it out, right? Thanks, Abdo. Appreciate it. Says he's going to share my live. But yeah, any questions, y'all? Post them in the comments. If you're not already signed up to get my notifications when I go live, and I'm talking basically this whole year, 2023, get the dream. Get the dream in 2023. Like, whatever it is, put the hat in the ring. Be like, I'm in it. I'm doing it. Whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is, whatever your focus, desire, I really, really recommend focusing on one goal. Do not listen to these goal books that tell you to write out like 25 goals and try to focus on all of them. It's ridiculous. Pick the one goal that would make the biggest impact in your life, okay? The biggest impact. Like, I'm not saying it has to be ginormous. I'm not telling you like, oh, I have a goal to make $1 million in a month and you're nowhere near that or something. But having the specific goal that's going to make the biggest impact in your life and potentially help bring in the other little goals that maybe you do have. Does that make sense? Like, I think for most people, that money solution is number one. Like, get the money, breathe, financial things taken care of, enables you to kind of focus on other things. The other big one is health. Once people feel good, they can do good. So kind of the money and the health thing, and I'll probably use a lot of examples related to those, but specifically if you have a goal or desire and you want to share it and you want help with that, feel free to post in the comments if you'd like to share. But anyways, stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Smash the like button. Share it out if you know anybody else that would appreciate having some help with their 2023 goals. Maybe post it to your timeline so your friends can see it. And click the comments. You'll see the show notes and live stream notifications. You can sign up for that. I'm going to start compiling little quips, little notes and stuff from these live streams so you can kind of just take it and go. Print it and go, PDF, whatever you want to do. But I'll start doing that with my emails. So sign up down below in the comments and take care. I'll see you on the next one.